I'm going to show you some PokerTracker 4 filters that will grow your skills and plug your leaks. Not too long ago, I released a video called You'll Regret Not Starting These Hand History Techniques Before 2026. In that video, I talked about a ton of filters to go through your database to find your leaks, to review hands, and get to working on improving your skills. Well, this is a companion video to that. If you haven't seen that prior video, there's a link in the description, or just type in smartpokerstudy.com/YouTube567. So I covered 11 different ways to go through your hands. We're going to go through the ones right here that require filtering. First off, I talked about going through your big losing hands. The easiest way to do this is to sort by the big blind 1 column. So if we just select all the positions here, we're looking at the month of January 2026 that I played in so far. You want to sort it by this big blind 1 column. So just click the column header. You'll see all your biggest winners, and then click it again. Drat, all your biggest losers. Start going through, looking at your biggest losing hands, try to figure out why you lost. Now, another way with the filters, in your database, you want to filter. We're going to go through hand details, amount, won or lost. Let me show you. More filters, hand details, win/loss, amount, won, loss. Let's turn this one on. Now you have to use negative numbers right here. So let's look at between negative 120 and negative 50 big blinds. So the bigger losing pots. Add to filter, save and apply. So you can see, of course, the win rate's going to be negative because you lost the hand, right? You lost between 50 and 120. Altogether, we can see I had 5 of these big losing hands. Oh, pocket kings twice and ace king the other 3 times. Be a really good idea to go through these, right? Now, you might know that you're losing a ton of maybe between 40 to 20 big blinds. So adjust the losing amount to whatever you think is most applicable to you. Here's a key thing. Save every filter as a quick filter. So let's go to More Filters, Save as Quick Filter. Lost 50 to 120 big blinds. Simple name right there. Okay, save and apply filters. So bam, it's here for anything in the future. And this is a key idea. When you're running filters, save them all. You could see, holy cow, I have a ton of filters, right? Because I save them all. And it makes it so easy to revisit a filter in the future. It makes for quicker studies in the future as well. So the next, let's filter for known leaks. So maybe you know that 2-betting and then calling a 3-bet is a leak of yours. Let's start with just this one, 2-bet and then call a 3-bet. We'll clear the filters right here. More filters, actions and opportunities. We're talking pre-flop, right? A 2-bet is a type of raise, pre-flop raises. Turn on any 2-bet. Go back right here. And then, of course, we're calling the 3-bet. So pre-flop calls, called a 3-bet. Save and apply filters. 14 hands right here. And as you can see, well, some losing hands. Oh, some decent winning hands as well. Maybe you know that calling the flop, calling the turn, calling the river c-bet is a leak of yours. Clear filters, more filters. On the flop right here, flop calls. Calling a bet is right here, but we want to specifically see where we called pre-flop, faced a c-bet, and then we called that c-bet. Add to filter, save and apply filters. You can see I have this saved as a call flop c-bet. We can also see here's call river c-bet, and then down below, call turn c-bet as well. And a great filter to add to this is in position versus not in position. Let's add when we're calling in position. So calling the c-bet on the flop, only 11 times, positive win rate here. Add filter, hand, details, player, position. On the flop, active player relative to all opponents is in position. Just click that. It turns them both on. So we can see we called a c-bet on the flop, and we were in position. Out of the 11 hands, oh, only 2 times, wow. And we were negative. More filters, highlight this one, and now not in position. We should see the other 9 hands, and yes, we're making positive EV calls right here. Some losing, some winning, of course. And this just helps you break down further. You know this is your leak, but it could be specifically when you're out of position. Now, this is a good one. I have all of my students run this one. Call river, any call. Clear filters, more filters, actions and opportunities. On the river now, river calls, and any call. That means you called an initial bet, you called somebody's raise, you called a re-raise, you called a re-raise. Add to filter, save and apply filters. Call river, any call made. You can see I called 10 different times right here, and we're nicely positive when we're calling on the river. Now, a lot of players have trouble in the big blind, maybe just the small blind as well, but we're going to run the big blind. clear filters. You can see we have this grouped by position, so we already have all of the big blind highlighted for us. More filters, actions and opportunities, pre-flop, scroll down, pre-flop calls, call the 2-bet, add to filter, save and apply filters. So you can see we have all of our calls right here. All together when I'm calling, positive for this month, liking that. But we have the big blind here, but it's mixed with all this other stuff. Maybe we just want to see big blind. We don't want to add to any confusion. We don't want anything dragging our attention away. More filters. The easiest way to do the big blinds is actions and opportunities. Pre-flop, you posted the big blind. If you want to see just the small blind, you can turn that on or highlight them both to see both of the blinds. But let's just see the big blind right here. Add to filter, save and apply filters. Boom, there's the 42 hands, exact same results, but now nothing else is clouding this. We could just focus solely on the big blind position. Now a fun one, opportunity to make a play. Let's clear filters. So if 2-betting and then calling a 3-bet is a problem for you, what about just that general situation of 2-betting facing a 3-bet? So more filters, actions and opportunities, pre-flop. Scroll on down to the pre-flop raises. You made that 2-bet pre-flop. Add to filter. Pre-flop. Now we're going to go to pre-flop opportunities. So you raised pre-flop. You have the opportunity to 4-bet. That means you're facing the 3-bet. Add to filter. Made a 2-bet. Facing a 3-bet because you could have come back over the top. Save and apply filters. And you can see I call this the 2-bet / face 3-bet quick filter. Bam. Positive dollars, negative win rate because we got different stakes over here. Now here's the thing, what you want to do at this point now. You can see just facing a 3-bet, this is my win rate, these are my results and everything. But sort it by the action to review your responses. So sort it by that pre-flop action because you can see raise, call, raise, fold. There's going to be raise, raise as well. Let's highlight all the positions and then sort it by pre-flop action. Okay, so here's all my raise and then re-raise hands, raise and then fold. I could start going through these. Oh, why didn't I come back over the top with my king queen? Not that I should, but that could be a good hand to look at. Scroll on down, you get your raise call section right here as well. So you can break this opportunity and then go through. If you click on one, hit the shift key on your keyboard and then click on the top one, you could select all of your raise and then call hands, right click, replay hands, boom, there's the raise call. You could go through, of course, and then, review all of your raise fold hands, right click, replay hands, and you could just go through them one at a time. What about the opportunity to c-bet the turn? A lot of players have a hard time double barreling. So maybe you're turn honest and you just know you need to work on that, right? You need to find more double barrels. Turn opportunity, c-bet opportunity. So if you have the c-bet opportunity on the turn, that means you were the pre-flop raiser and you c-bet the flop. So go through. Once again, sort by that turn action. You can see the hands where you had the opportunity to c-bet, but you checked folded right here. There's probably going to be some check calls occasionally as well. Bet, fold, bet, and then maybe even some bet raises. I didn't happen to make any, but sometimes you make the bet and the raise. Opportunity to squeeze. Let's go back to pre-flop, talking about 3-bets here. Actions and opportunities. Pre-flop opportunities. You've got the squeeze opportunity. Save and apply filters. Boom. Highlight them all. We can sort it by pre-flop action. Hands where I made the squeeze. Plenty of hands where I folded over here. I called and then folded and then called as well. This is a good one. Opportunity to check raise on the flop. First, turn on checked flop. Add that one to filter. Actions and opportunities. Go back to the flop. Flop opportunities. The first flop raise. Add it to filter. You checked. Have the opportunity to raise. That means somebody bet in position against you. Save and apply. Saved it as check raise flop opportunity. Boom. Sort by that flop action. We can see where I check raised, where I check folded, and check called as well. One last opportunity, the river raising opportunity. More filters, actions and opportunity. On the river here, river opportunities, any raise opportunity. Or you could look specifically at that first river raise. So it's going to show spots where we checked, somebody bet we could raise. They bet we were in position, we could raise. Sort it by that river action to go through specific actions that you made in these hands. Now, this next one is kind of a fun one. Check your lines. A line is what you're doing flop, turn to river. Even pre-flop could be included in your lines. But I just have the idea here of looking at post-flop lines. So let's clear filter. Flop bet, turn check, river fold. Actions and opportunities on the flop. We made any flop bet. You could look specifically at a C bet, donk bet, or float bet. Let's just turn that one on right there. Add to filter. On the turn right here, we check the turn. Add another one. On the river, we actually ended up folding. Any fold. Now, of course, the win rate's going to be negative, but you can see I took this line 6 times so far. Bet, check, and then fold. I can go through and review these hands. And a really good idea is to look at your hand strength versus the board. Okay, bet, and then I check the turn, but I had king, queen. I had 2 pair. Oh, I guess it makes sense checking when it's 4 to the straight and 3 to the flush, but maybe I should open up this hand, go through and take a look. Was this actually a good spot to have double barreled? Actually, could I have 3-bet right here? Loose aggressive open raiser. Don't know anything about him, but he just called. He's probably weak. This might have been a good spot to come over the top with a 3-bet. I'm just going to run one more of these lines, the bet, check, back line, because lines are pretty simple to run once you just understand it. So, actions and opportunities on the flop bets, we made the bet. On the turn, once again, we made the bet. But on the river, we checked river. But right, check back. That means we were in position on this river. So go to hand details, player position. On the river, active against all other opponents, we're in position. Add to filter, save and apply filters, boom. 13 times, we did the bet, check back. Now, a good thing about this is a lot of these hands, especially where we won, should we have triple barreled for value? Could I have barreled on that 10-9 and gotten something weaker to call me? What about this pocket 9s? I know there's an ace out there, but could a random 8 or even a rivered 5 or pocket 6s, could those have called? Pretty good line to be running here. Now, this next one is one of my favorites, VPIPing with hand strength categories. So you might know that you have a problem with suited gappers. You just play them too often. They look too pretty, but you don't do anything good with them post-flop, like a Jack-7 suited type hand. Go to More Filters, Hand Values, Whole Card Range Selection, Hold'em, Hand Range, and then select your suited gappers. You might as well just include all of them here. And if you'd like, you can even break this down further, right? It's whatever you want to look at. You could look at just the baby suited gappers, the mid suited gappers, and the high suited gappers. We're just going to put them all in for demonstration of this video. So you have these hands. Let's save and apply. Let's see what this looks like. So we didn't necessarily play all these hands. Look, 6-4 suited. I was facing a cold 3-bet and I just folded. Yeah, of course I'm going to do that, right? What I prefer with these when we're going through specific categories is adding that VPIP, because it shows the hands where I chose to play that specific hand strength category. Turn it on under pre-flop actions, add to filter. We've got the suited gappers. We VPIP'd into the pot. Let's see what happens here. Oh, hey, we're nicely positive right here. Now here's a good one too. Why'd I lose a losing session here? Let's clear filters. When I'm going through PokerTracker 4, I generally group it by position. But let's look here at table session. So these are all the sessions that you played during the time frame, table by table. You can sort it by big blinds won or currency won even, had some good winning sessions. Some losing sessions right here. At 5NL, $10, that's 2 buy-ins. 47 hands, it'd be a good idea, now that I have this selected, all the hands are right down here. Now, I want to sort this by the date. You see, at 8:41, that's when the session began. I had Queen 4 offsuit. Let's right-click and hit replay all hands and report. Boom, there's the Queen 4 offsuit. The next hand, once we go to it, King Queen 4-5. Queen 4, King Queen 4-5. So you can go in order of hands. You can replay the entire session, figure out what you're doing wrong, maybe what information that you're missing as the session goes on. Now, in that video about regretting not starting hand history techniques, I talk about whole cards exposed hands, but not a lot of people play on Ignition Poker. The general idea here is to create a hand tag, use it as you play, and then pull those hands up. Under Configure, you go to Tags, ton of tags. If you've never done this, you'll just see the default 7 tags or whatever it is. Review is one of those tags, but click Add, choose a symbol, and then type in a name. But I know so far this month, I've used the review tag quite a few times. So let's go back to position. Let's highlight all the positions here. And then we can do two things. We can show marked hands. You can see I got some tags here already, right? Show marked hands. And then boom, I've got these marked with a review tag. This is an unhappy tag right here and whatnot. If you want to see specifically just a certain type of tag, the easiest way, don't even have to run filters, just choose it from the drop-down. Review. There's all my review tags for the month so far. Now, this last is really fun, but super necessary. This is for you tournament players. You're going to create two tags, bubble start and bubble end. So let's remove this review tag, go to the tournament page. This month, I've only played one tournament. Now, I have already tagged these hands in the tournament. These aren't real. I mean, I only played 10 hands before I busted in this tournament. I just tagged these for demonstration purposes. So what you're going to do is under Configure, Tags, create a bubble start and a bubble end tag. PokerTracker 4 does not know when a tournament bubble starts, but you do. As soon as you start feeling that bubble pressure, tag that hand right away with the bubble start tag. When the bubble bursts and you're in the money, tag that first in the money hand with the bubble end tag. What you're going to do is click on the bubble start tag first, and then hold the shift key down, click on the bubble end tag. That's going to highlight the two tags and everything in between. Right-click, replay hands. Now you can see, because we clicked on the first hand first and the last hand of the bubble last, it's going to play from that Jack 8 forward. So you can review all of your bubble hands, all of your bubble decisions. Queen 6, I folded, I didn't raise. Queen Jack, I folded. 3-6 offsuit. Yeah, I'm not going to defend that right there, right? Go through and you can learn from your bubble. That's a key aspect for tournament players. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to the Office Hours channel, please do so. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you haven't seen that Hand History Techniques video for 2026, click on the link in the description below. But then ultimately, your action step for today is to go through and run all of these filters, get practice running the filters for yourself, and of course, save them as quick filters so you don't ever have to run them again. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.